Okay, so that's the big update which is coming in. In fact, we do have a couple of reactions. We have the senior sports journalist Ayaz Memon who is joining in on the line to discuss this. Ayaz, hi, welcome to the show. Well, it's definitely a big win. Your first reaction, you heard it first on CNBC TV 18 and it's come through now. The news has been confirmed that cricket is going to be a part of the Olympics come 2028. Your first thoughts?
Well, I think it's fabulous for the game and also for the Olympic movement, because it's a sport followed by about a couple of billion people all over the world. And if it was not represented, it was a bit of a shortcoming in the Olympic movement. So I think it works to mutual advantage for the Olympic movement as well as for cricket, and certainly for India, where cricket is such an undying passion.
Okay, but what do you think would be the commercials of this? Because, any which way, cricket is such a popular sport. In the commercials, in terms of getting it more global recognition, how much of a catalyst do you think this would be?
No, I think, look, when you look at a sport being included in the Olympics, you're looking at it, it's divested from its commercial considerations outside. The commercial considerations of cricket outside of the Olympics, I don't think it will be affected too much. In the Olympics, the teams will contest for a medal. The World Cups, the T20 World Cup, maybe even the ODI World Cup, the World Test Championship will still continue. Bilateral matches will continue. That management, will obviously depend on the expertise of the ICC and the respective cricket boards. But the fact of breaking through into the Olympics, it just kind of makes the Olympic movement also a little more comprehensive. And obviously, it allows, greater interest from an Indian point of view in the Olympics.
Take your point, Ayaz, completely. This is Mangalam here, and congratulations to every cricket lover, every sport lover for this moment itself. I was just reading some data about cricket's inclusion in the Olympics. Cricket was last included in 1900, so it's been after 123 years that cricket has been included in Olympics itself. What's interesting about this inclusion is, not so much about the commercial benefits of it all, but making cricket a more widespread, popular sport. And that's where, like you said, there are a lot of synergies. One, Olympics, usually 105 nations participate, but among the top medal winners, none of them had cricket as a popular sport, their native popular sport. Neither does America have cricket, nor did, China have cricket as well. But with, cricket now being a part of Olympics, I think cricket will travel to all these places, and Olympics itself will travel to India. They will get access to the lucrative South Asian markets too. Gaurav Kalra of, he's a sports analyst, he joins in as well. Gaurav, how big a moment do you think this is, and how should one look at this for both the sport and the nation?
I think, Mangal, it's a significant moment simply because it allows cricket to engage with a much larger family of world sport, like you mentioned there. And I think more importantly, it engages cricket with what is the greatest sporting event in the world. And I think one has to understand that cricket does, while it is played in a large number of countries now, it's only played to a very high level of skill in a much smaller universe. Whereas the Olympics actually is the greatest sporting show in the world, and it brings together the very elite of world sport across disciplines. And I think by getting itself included in that Olympic program, cricket will be able to show the high level of skill to a much larger audience. And I think that's where cricket it benefits cricket in terms of its growth strategy around the world, because many more countries will now engage with the sport, watch it, and understand its nuance and its complexity, as well as the entertainment value that it can bring. And from the point of view of the Olympic movement, it suddenly now is able to attract a very large diaspora towards cricket. So just, you can almost imagine the storylines as it goes forward. Aiming for an Olympic gold medal. And if we are hearing, for instance, that only 6 countries go through, so the qualification process to actually qualify for those games is a fascinating storyline in itself. Who makes it, who doesn't, and there'll be a bit of a strong battle to get into that final 6 cut as well. So all these factors, I think, make for very, very fascinating storylines. And going into that 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles, I think we've got.
Right.
I think cricket will very much take a very significant step forward in its journey as a world sport.
Gaurav, Ayaz, thank you so much for joining in with that quick perspective. However, we'll have to watch out for the modalities of how they pan out and what teams play. And in that also, will you have the Stars playing or not? But that we'll leave it closer to 2028. As of now, it's a great moment for all of us and CNBC TV 18 as well. We broke the story here first on September 4th. With that, we wrap up on this edition of Halftime Report. Business Lunch comes up with all the action ahead.